Good evening and welcome to Onsen Budgie Smugglers podcast, season 2, episode 16. Today is 26th of September 2023, and I'm Yoshi from Kyoto, and my co-host Troy Crash Thompson is from Northcote in Victoria, Australia. Hi Crash, how are you doing today?
Very good, thanks, Yoshi. Good to be here with you on this Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely nice Wednesday night. Like, normally we do on Saturday, but we are having a huge Saturday this weekend, AFL Grand Final. Therefore, we do much of the interesting free talks today. That's why we are here today. How's the weather like in Northcote or Melbourne?
Much cooler than it's going to be on Saturday. So about 18 degrees Celsius here in Melbourne today. Nice clear day, but Saturday is going to be 28, maybe 29 degrees
Wow.
Celsius.
Must be very hot for free players, I'm sure.
Yeah, very much so. There's probably only been a few days where it's been hotter on a grand final day.
All right. Then for about the other days, like is it still cold or warm?
Yeah, I mean, the weather is often nice this time of year, but 29 is probably at the higher end of the temperature scale.
All right. It's like kind of summer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
That's what I'm saying.
approaching summer, yes, that's for sure.
Oh, nice. Then it's still hot here, like 30 degrees, actually 33 degrees, both in Osaka and Kyoto. Like I was in Osaka today for a job interview. Then the minimum temperature today and tomorrow is like 24, 25. It's like more summer, still summer, rather than the autumn here. Then next week, the minimum temperature will be down to like 18, 19, something like that. Then autumn has finally arrived here, I think.
I think you're probably feeling pretty good about that because you've had a long, hot summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we get, cooked at the training, like some of us cooked in the training, then we had to cancel in August because we are feared about the heat strokes.
Are you finished footy season, Yoshi, or do you have another game left?
Actually, we are not in like a structured competitions, and we have to organize like each by each with the goal league club, which is R2 for 6 rounds. Then we haven't decided any game yet, but we still train.
Well, now the weather's nice, so maybe you can get another game in.
I hope so. Then what is going on, in the last few weeks? Highs and lows?
I'll start with my high. So I got out of Melbourne last week. I do like Melbourne, but it's nice to get out of Melbourne and into the countryside. I was actually up in New South Wales at a town called Orange, where there's a large gold mine up there, and doing some work for the gold mine up there. And then last weekend, I went to Halls Gap in the Grampians, which is about 3 hours out of Melbourne. So, and very, very pretty out there. Lots of kangaroos and emus, and some nice mountains and a lot of bush.
Nice. You must have a good nature lessons or forever, like, being the nature or like, have a nice connection with animals.
Yeah, very much. And I don't know, it's just feels good to me to get out and about, out of Melbourne, out of the big city.
Of course, like we sometimes need the countryside to feel fresh, like a refresh, or then get up the stress, like a less stress, you know. How many people are living in Orange?
That's a good question. I'd say probably about 40,000.
40,000, yeah, nice. Like a small city, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of people work at that gold mine up there as well, or businesses that are related to that operation.
Nice.
But also there's
Then,
a lot of farming around there as well.
right. What sort of, crops or animals are grown
Yeah,
up in Orange?
I think a lot of sheep farming and cattle, so beef farming, but also cropping, yes, wheat and barley and canola.
Nice. So how long did you stay over there?
I was up there for 5 days. I'll actually be up there again next week for another 4 days. So looking forward to that.
Nice.
My
Is there
low,
like,
sorry.
oh, sorry, is there like a, free supporter in Orange? Or do they watch rugby instead?
Yeah, very much rugby league sort of area. And probably
Yeah.
also some rugby union around the private school sort of areas. A little bit of Aussie rules because there's people up there from other states working at the gold mines.
Yeah.
But I would say fairly heavily dominant rugby league country.
Oh, sure. Did you talk to other people over there about free or like any sports talk?
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's definitely a lot of rugby league talk, and a few Aussie rules people around. So a few GWS Giants fans as well.
All right.
It's
They
appropriate
must
in
be,
Orange, right?
yeah, like the Orange Armies.
Yeah. Yeah. So on to my low. I haven't really had much to complain about, to be honest, in the last couple of weeks. So my delayed flights on my return home from Orange are a bit annoying. My first plane was late. My second plane was cancelled. And my last plane into Melbourne sort of did a loop around Melbourne for about 40 minutes. So got home a few hours late. But in the scheme of things, it still beats walking.
Oh, nice. Like, you still got like a couple hours late and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Nice. It
How about
happens in like in transport anyway. Like not only like a plane, like the trains, etc. So
Yeah, it would be nice if we get a train up there, but unfortunately, I've kind of got to fly to Sydney and then from Sydney out to Orange.
yeah, sure.
How about you, Yoshi? What's your highs and lows?
Right. Big high, I think. My teammate, who is also a St. Kitts supporter, has decided to keep living in Australia while he's on a working holiday visa rather than moving to Tokyo.
In
This
Osaka,
is
I
the
think you mean.
yeah, Osaka, yeah, like he's like staying here for until I think early next year. Then his primary plan was to live in Osaka and Tokyo both cities, then see a difference, enjoy difference. But he's decided not to live in Tokyo anymore.
Well, it's good to have another St Kilda supporter there, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big, huge friend for me.
Excellent.
Yeah. Then, opposite to this big, huge news, unfortunately, I have faced two personal questions at job interviews that made me annoyed.
Am I able to ask you to elaborate on those questions or not?
Sorry, can you repeat again, please?
Yeah. So, well, what was the nature of those questions? I guess.
Too personal, like, even like, how large my apartment is not related to any job,
Yeah.
This is too personal. I got angry, of course. I don't care. Like, no one cares, about the size of the property or forever. Then we can't, judge the people from the size of the apartment or like, what sort of, stuff, have done, while I was struggling with the job,
Yeah.
Even like I gave away like, the positive stuff, like, learning a new skill online, didn't understand, WTF.
So, how does that make you approach your next job interview, do you think?
I would rather, say, sorry, this is not related to any job, so, I would rather not to answer. But today I had another job interview anyway, so then hopefully it went well, so now, but I'm nervous about, if I can go on to the second interview or not. Then forget about, these annoying, like, frustrating stuff, and I move on to the positives. That's what I can do.
Yeah. Hopefully it will be a different person interviewing as well.
Just my like a different. Then for the second interview, then I was told to be that I would be interviewed by top of the company, something like that. But today's interviewee was so nice as well.
Oh, I'm glad.
Then yeah, just my.
Positive.
Then sorry, positive, yes, say positive, my.
Yeah.
Right. Then let's move on to the today's topic. What have you got to us, Crash?
So my headline today from Australia is tourist falls 50-meter down cliff trying to take a selfie on Phillip Island.
Like he was at the edge of the rock cliff, then trying to take a selfie with like a mountain or ocean, something wasn't sure. Then unfortunately he fell down backwards, bam, rolled down for 50 meters, right?
Yeah, ocean. You're right. It was at the ocean. Yeah.
The ocean. Then he was saved.
Yeah. Fortunately, it was okay. It was just injured, but and taken to hospital, but okay.
Right. How was he saved? Like by boat or by helicopter? No?
Yeah, I think emergency services. So I think they literally went down and carried them out.
Right into the ocean?
No, back up to the top of the cliff, I think.
Oh,
Fortunately, there was a bunch of his friends were on the site, so they were able to raise the alarm and have them rescued.
all right, that's a good stuff to hear that. Was he charged? Sorry, discharged from the hospital or still in the
Discharged hospital, yes.
And when did it happen?
I believe this is in the last weekend, just gone.
Right. But we have to be careful with the surroundings, when we are taking a selfie. Also, in such a age, don't stare on your smartphone or computer or camera or whatever.
So you must have seen a lot of tourists in Osaka taking selfies.
I'm not 100% sure about this. I'm sure.
Maybe it's not a Japanese thing to take selfies.
Actually, they do, but I haven't seen tourists taking a selfies in Osaka so much.
Okay.
But I guess so. I avoid the tourist areas anyway.
Fair enough.
That's my.
How about you, Yosh? What have you got for me?
Japan to survey bus taxi firms to resolve driver shortages.
So I guess the bus taxis are having problems getting drivers.
Yeah.
That's pretty clear. I'm unsure what the survey would come up with to help to fix that problem. So maybe I'm not sure how surveying the firms. Maybe they need to find out what is wrong with the companies that employ the people, the drivers, and see if they can fix what's wrong with the companies.
Yeah, unfortunately, in this article, there is no, it didn't feature about, what sort of survey, they're taking. I guess, like, as you say, like, interviewing the employees, like, the businesses, what is wrong, hiring the bus drivers, the taxi drivers. But anyway, they are taking a service, in the next financial years, like 2014, then back to the office and give advice to improve, taxi and bus services, in Japan.
Right.
Perhaps, in the last couple of weeks is like, the small city called, Tondabayashi in Osaka has a bus network with a Congo bus called Congo Bus. And the Congo Bus has, I think, 11 routes, something like that. But they have only like 20 drivers at the moment. Then
Right.
they've decided to close down the business in December, effective in December. Then city councils are looking for another company to take over the bus routes. Otherwise, infrastructure is gone. Bus routes are gone.
I assume a lot of people in Japan do rely on the buses, so it would cause a lot of disruption.
Yeah, absolutely. But many people argue that bus drivers don't get enough money, like wages are low and too many responsibilities and too many complaints, like, everything puts pressure onto the bus driver rather than company dealing with the individual, like, customers, like, this is too, like, too much or like reasonable, they never say. Then, but manager puts through to the driver, every complaint, no good, If they think the complaints are unreasonable, then they don't need to tell the bus driver about it.
Yoshi,
I don't think.
would you
Sorry.
consider driving a bus?
Actually, I don't think so. I would not. I wish I could save, the bus, the transport industry. But if people complain too much about the unreasonably, then I'm worried about my mental health as well. Then I can't take this, job, unfortunately. I wish I could. I like the public transport, and I wish I could take the job role, but I can't.
I think you'd make quite a good train driver.
Yeah, but I have to take, big vehicles, driver license as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right. Let's move on to the free talk now.
Yeah.
Then did you watch the Brownlow on Monday?
I did. Channel 7 here in Melbourne. I watched the Brownlow from start to finish.
Yeah.
I believe that you had some problems and were unable to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't watch on the Channel 7, any program here. Then Fox Free doesn't have a right to broadcast the Brownlow, so I couldn't watch, unfortunately. It's only in Australia.
So maybe I'll give you a little bit of a recap of the
Yeah,
Brownlow.
please.
So Nick Davis from Collingwood was raging favourite. Started off very strongly. I think maybe had 13 votes after the first 5 games or something like that. Which surprised no one who saw him play. He did dominate the game, but then gradually sort of everyone else caught up to him, and because he didn't play the last 3 games, and in fact probably the last 6 games wasn't expected to poll any votes, lots of other players end up passing him.
Yeah.
So the eventual winner was Lachie Neale from the Brisbane Lions with 31 votes. He has won the Brownlow before, so this is his second Brownlow medal.
Yeah.
I was probably, with no Hawthorn players likely to win, I was kind of barracking for Marcus Bontempelli from the Bulldogs. He finished second on 29.
Yeah.
And Nick Davis finished on 28 votes in third place.
Yeah.
Probably the surprise packet was Errol Goulden from the Swans. He did have a very good year, but probably no one expected him to poll 27 votes. Also equal fourth was Zach Butters, who was one of the favourites from Port Adelaide. He had a really good year. And then Christian Petrarca from Melbourne, who was also one of the favourites, had 26 votes. And then they kind of dropped off from there. But the strongest finisher for the Saints, Jack Sinclair, 21 votes.
21, yeah.
How'd you feel about his season, Yosh?
Yeah, his season is, the great, as, in the last few years. Then he can, cover up the back, take a good marks, and kicking efficiency is good. Then he can play in the midfield, the center clearances, he's good. Then if the team is better, then he might get more votes, I reckon.
And the long hair doesn't hurt. I think it attracts a few votes from the umpires.
Maybe that guy probably his marriage is loved or hated, maybe.
Maybe. So also polling well for St Kilda was Brad Crouch and with 18 and Jack Steele with 15.
Yeah. They are, they get more votes, but I'm sure Sinclair is better than Crouch or Steele, but they did very well.
And was there anyone from the Saints that sort of disappointed you that you thought might have got more votes?
Probably not really. But, what I was surprised to hear that, Lachie Neale, he was not selected all Australians. Then yesterday I listened to the ABC radio, like a current affairs show, I think the program name is World, around midday. Then the reporter says Lachie Neale has got 3 votes on a quiet day. It's all favorite of the umpires. I think that is not good. Umpires make a mistake, so many controversial calls, like a goal kicking, etc. even like he was not selected Australian, then he's got a Brownlow medal. I can't understand how to think about it.
Yeah, I guess the Brownlow is voted for by the umpires, and they will see things one way. And as you said, being a favourite of the umpires, someone who gets on well with the umpires, that certainly can help your chances. And there have been a number of players over the years who have been known to abuse the umpires during games and don't get votes, even if they are the best player on the field. It's, I guess, the fairest part in best and fairest. People think that, players should be fair to the umpires and accept the decisions.
Oh, goodness.
Now, the All Australian is voted on and players are selected by past players. So that's two different sets of people sort of choosing those two awards, if you like. So maybe that can explain the discrepancy somewhat.
Right, makes sense. Thanks for explaining.
And the other thing is obviously All Australian are supposed to be selected in position. So it's possible that, even though he got the most votes through a season, they felt someone else in his position was better than him through the season.
All right. Like I understand, like in all Australian, the selection panel is a group of former players and coaches, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. I understand the differences, like players' point of view, coaches' point of views, and umpires' point of view.
Yeah, very different, or can be. You would hope that they're not, but they seem to be.
Yeah, I understand.
Now, Hawthorn, as we've
Yeah.
discussed many times this year, didn't have a great year. Our Hawthorn's best performer was Jai Newcomb with 18 votes. He had a very good year, and this is the second year in a row that he has finished with the most votes for a Hawthorn player. Hopefully, as with Sinclair, that as the team improves over the next few years, he can continue to poll votes and improve, and one day perhaps be a Brownlow Medal winner. James Sicily had the second most votes, which was only 12 for Hawthorn, but he was suspended, so he would have been ineligible regardless. And James Warple with 11. And the one for me, Will Day, finished with 8 votes. I think he will one day win a Brownlow medal.
Yeah.
Again, as the team continues to improve and he gets more of the ball in winning teams.
Nice.
How about you, Yosh? Is there anyone out of St Kilda that you think is a future Brownlow medalist?
Probably Mitch Owens, if he improved, like he hasn't got any votes this year, but I'm sure like if he develops well and he can play like in the midfield or like in the forward and he could gain more votes, I'm sure. I think he can be a Brownlow medal, winner in the future.
Very good. All right. Maybe we just talk about the finals from last week.
Yeah.
Preliminary finals.
Yeah, preliminaries. Yeah. The first one, Collingwood versus GWS.
That's the one.
I was a bit confused between Carlson and Brisbane, like which one played first. Sorry.
No, definitely Collingwood GWS Friday night at the MCG.
Yeah. I reckon, the GWS, the pressure gauge was huge, enormous. Then Collingwood was short, like, but GWS has a big sounds of shaking the MCG, then kick, and even shot the Collingwood, but Collingwood bounced back anyway. Lucky
Yeah,
win for Collingwood, but
yeah.
Collingwood had a
I
big
thought the
mistake.
GWS, as you said, did bring the pressure. They kept the scoring low, which is what they probably needed to do if they were to have a chance of winning.
Yeah,
And they almost did it, but I think Collingwood, just with that experience of lots of winning close games, they really were able those last 4 minutes to get the ball held up and not allow GWS to score. So had GWS scored a point, it would have went to overtime. But
yeah,
Collingwood played too well and kept them out in the end.
that's right. Yeah.
And then Saturday evening, Brisbane hosted Carlton. What do you think of that game, Yosh?
Right. Carlton, Carlton was firing up, at the beginning. Then, Brisbane couldn't, score much, on the Carlton on the way. Then, but they actually gained they control the balls, and they just use the advantage of the balance, tall forwards and small forwards, and tall, back lines. Then also Brisbane had a home advantage, and they won comfortably. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I was pretty confident that Brisbane would win, but Carlton, came out very strongly and gave themselves the best chance. Unfortunately, Brisbane just had the better forward line, the better midfield, and probably the better defenders in the end, and just through a whole, 2 hours of a game, they were just the better team. I think Brisbane, even though they won easily enough in the end, 16 points, probably didn't play at their best, and will be a big chance to do that on this Saturday at the MCG.
Yeah, right. I'm sure they can do again.
So Collingwood versus Brisbane grand final
Yeah,
at the MCG. Yosh, what's your prediction?
actually, from perhaps I saw at the weekend, then Collingwood had a had a kind of errors, like kicking or handballing, then bad handballing, then nearly really they are nearly really shut down by GWS anyway. Then Brisbane, on the other hand, they are behind in the first quarter, but as you say, like they had a balance with the defenders, like midfield, the defenders are working. Then I feel like Brisbane to win the grand final.
By what margin, Yoshi? How much?
It's a good question. Maybe I give 15 points.
All right.
How about you?
For me, I think that it will be a very close game in the first half. I think in the heat, Brisbane will push away in the second half and win by 22 points.
Right.
I'm going to go with Lachie Neale, the Brownlow medalist, to back up and also win the Norm Smith medal. How about that?
Yeah, could be. Yeah. I not maybe Rockiney or could be Josh Dunkley.
Yeah, Dunkley's a good pick.
Yeah, I would pick Dunkley for the no medal Smith.
Excellent. Now, where will you be watching the grand final on Saturday, Yosh?
Actually, we are having a grand final party, but we haven't. I don't think we have, you know, we haven't, done the deal with the Australian pub in Shinsaibashi in Osaka, then definitely will be there and watch from there. How about you, Crash?
I'll be at the Commercial Club Hotel in Fitzroy.
Nice.
I'm sure there'll be some Collingwood supporters there and probably some old Fitzroy supporters, hoping that Brisbane can bring the cup back to Fitzroy and Brunswick Street Oval on Saturday before taking it back up to Brisbane.
Nice. Then are you watching your friends over there?
Yeah, I'll be there with a few friends. Ben will be there, and yeah, a few other friends will be down there. So it should be a good day.
You absolutely enjoy.
I will do so. Anything else happening on the weekend for you, Yosh?
Actually, looking forward to the grand final. That's all for the weekend. How about you, Troy?
Yeah, pretty much the same. And if it's a big enough day on Saturday, hopefully I'll be recovering on Sunday.
Right, same as you. I have to get a good recovery on Sunday.
All right, mate. Well, thanks for getting up on the Wednesday night because we didn't really want to do this on Saturday. So, and good to talk about the grand final. Be a kind of almost our last footy talk for the year, although we'll no doubt be talking about the grand final after it happens and maybe a bit of AFLW going forward as well.
Yeah, let's review the grand final later. Also, like talk about the women's game, and let's honor the girls in this podcast.
Good stuff, mate. Well, have a great day today. I'll catch you next time.
You too, and thanks everyone for watching, and see you in 2 weeks.
Oh, and good luck to your old mate Matt Gale because I believe he got a grand final ticket.
Oh, I didn't know that. Enjoy, Matt, the grand final, and see you all in 2 weeks or whenever.
See you, mate.
See you, mate.